Sarah closed 7 loans this month by doing this one thing, and you'll never guess how easy it is. My name is Steve Kyles, and I'm your host on the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast powered by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And today I'm excited to talk to my dear friend, Sarah Cox, which I get the privilege of working with closely. And Sarah, we were talking and just working through your business. I get the privilege of every other week, you and I really just dive deep into business and say, okay, what's working, what's not working, how do we continue to grow, and do it in a cool way. And you were telling me about this one thing that you're doing, 7 funded loans from this. Girl, come on, man.
Yes. Well,
Spill the
thank
beans.
you.
First off, it's great to
Yes.
have you.
Likewise, it's great to be here. And the privilege is all mine, Steve,
Yeah.
because I know I sound like a broken record, but I'll just keep saying it over and over again. If it wasn't for the mortgage marketing animals, I know I wouldn't be here right now
Yeah.
in the market that we're in right now. I mean, if it wasn't for the coaching, if it wasn't for the podcast, if it wasn't for the Breakfast Club, Call Stars, these things are gold for loan officers.
Mm,
And being in the business in October, I've been in the business for 21 years. And in all these years of me doing this, I've never had the discipline, the structure, removing the chaos. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak enough about that. Having a plan every single day of what I'm doing. I'm not wondering what I'm doing every morning.
yeah.
I know exactly what I'm doing. And if you talk to any of my friends, my family, people who have known me, this is not who I am naturally. Like, this is not my personality type. I am not this way. I am not built this way. And so, yes, it is 100% an honor to be a part of this amazing podcast. This is your podcast was my introduction to the mortgage marketing
Wow. Come
animals.
on. So you found us through the podcast. And
Yes.
since then, we've become great friends, man. We're
Yes.
doing some cool things together. And I just love seeing your success. You know, what I think people need to understand is a year ago, you were a non-producing branch manager.
Right.
And now, I mean, you're throwing up great numbers and producing at a high level when the industry for loan officers is down as much as 38 to 50%. And you're actually growing the opposite way. And I would say that's significant.
It
And
is.
so, hey, well, listen, I heard I'm really excited because we were talking and you said, man, I've got a strategy. This is something I'm doing. Even on the Breakfast Club, when you said it this morning, I just thought, oh my gosh, we got to talk to our not only our listeners, but our community, because you're doing something that caused you to fund. So this isn't go out and get more leads. You did get leads, but you funded 7 loans
Yeah.
this month from
Yeah.
doing this. So you got to talk to us. What are you doing?
So the daily success plan has themed days, and
Yes.
Tuesdays have been my I don't, for whatever reason, that's the day that has really been the biggest impact. And I would say that the Tuesday just ask calls are 100% what I've leaned in on and do not
Yeah.
compromise at all. So
Yeah.
Tuesdays, we call all the folks that are involved in a transaction that's in process. We call the listing agent, the buyer's agent, title company, transaction coordinator, insurance, of course, the buyers, the co-borrower, the primary borrower and co-borrower. And there's a distinction there too, because you want to make sure that everyone is being touched. And it's not just about calling them and giving them an update on the status of the loan, which is what I always thought it was. I
Yeah.
always thought that's all it was. But it's really asking for the business. And at the end of every call, the question is, do you have any friends? Can you do me a favor? Sure,
Yeah.
Sarah, what's
Oh
that?
yeah.
Great. Can you do me a favor and think of me if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or refinance? And I say it in a way that is not I'm being salesy. I'm pushing you. It's not this full court press, like, aggressive, approach. It is genuinely a question that I'm
Yeah.
asking. Can you do
Yeah.
me that favor? And I have seen the most success with listing agents on
Mm,
that. And
yeah.
the listing agents that I have asked that question to, I ask it instead of friends, family, or coworkers, I ask it, who are you currently working with right now
Mm,
that I can help get pre-approved to make sure it's a good use of your time? When I've asked that question repeatedly, the agents have been sending me their sometimes already executed contract clients.
Wow.
Sometimes they're
Yeah.
like, you know what, Sarah, I've been working with this other lender and they're not calling me back. They haven't called my client back. I've got an executed contract here. Can you take care of it? Of course I can take care of it. I'd be happy to help.
Absolutely not. That's off the table. Hey, well,
And
you know what's interesting, Sarah, because you said something. We did a survey a few years back, and we surveyed thousands. We had, I think, it was almost 10,000 realtors respond. I mean, it was a big survey, and we asked them, "What's your biggest frustration or complaint with the loan officer that you're working with or have worked with?" And by far, the top three were, "Look, they don't close on time. They don't communicate when the loan is in process. I have no idea if we're even on track for a closing. Is it going to be on time or we got problems? And then when I give them a lead, they don't follow up with my leads." And you know what's so cool about this strategy, the Just Ask Tuesday update? See, the challenge is we used to all say, "Hey, today is update day," forgetting the Just Ask is the most important part. And Sarah, what's crazy is these are the easiest calls to make because they're mad if they don't hear from you. So they're like,
exactly.
"Dang it, that loan officer, like the one that gave you a contract, said, hey, that loan officer's not even communicating with me." So your process of calling 9 to 11 on Tuesdays with the intent of asking for the business guise or under the guise of an update is really powerful because it's not really the update that's the most important part. It's the asking for the business. However, you give the update.
Right. Exactly. So they still know what's going on and they're still
Yeah.
communicated with. I had one where we had the transaction actually went bad. The closing ended up being rough because of
Yeah.
last minute things that came up because they do in our business. And in my opinion, I thought, man, this agent is a high level producing agent who's
Yeah.
been in the business for years. Like he is going to be so upset. That same week I had two leads from him, and one of
Wow.
those was the one that closed. And
Wow.
and it's just we get in our own mind, we make assumptions about what we think that person's going to do, say, or react, and
Yeah.
we create a reality around our own thoughts. And
Hmm.
that reality is going to, or those thoughts are going to shape how you perceive what you should do next with your actions. Stop. Get out
Yeah.
of your head.
Yeah.
Just ask. And it's those things that I have learned that, we were talking yesterday on Breakfast Club about books and what books people like and what books people read. And Carl's response was so like, I just was like, oh my gosh, mind blown. He was like, stop with the books, everyone. Start with the mindset. He's like,
Mm.
read books that teach you about mindset. And there's a book that I actually recommended called Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig
Yeah.
Groeschel, because that's where I think we win and lose the battle, right? I know there's a saying that we win or lose the battle way before we even get onto the field
Mm.
with what's happening in our mind. And I think that the mindset, especially for loan officers, because I've been in this space for so long, is so it's really it's sick right
Yeah.
now. It's just hurt. It's broken. And if we can't acknowledge that as an industry, that we need to work on how we're thinking, how our mindset is reset. If we're not daily renewing our mind to put it in the right place and holding on to every thought that we have and ask, is that something I should really be dwelling on? Is that something I should really be meditating on? If we don't do that on the regular, we are going to lose every single time. And that's why I find it so valuable to be a part of Breakfast Club, so valuable to be a part of Call Stars, which is that 2 hour time block every day. I talk about it all the time
Yeah.
because I find so much value in it. And it's that community, it's that camaraderie. Humans are supposed to be together. We are
Mm.
supposed to have that accountability. That's how we are built. And what I think that a lot of people have left is this Lone Ranger mentality, or have gone to is the Lone Ranger mentality. And I think that's during, not to get overly analytical about it, but I think that during that time of COVID, when people retreated and went
Yeah.
home and stopped communing with each other, is when we lost that togetherness. and I'm a part of networking groups. I'm a part of the Fort Worth Mortgage Bankers Association. I'm a part of different organizations that bring people together because
Mm,
we are better together. And I
mhm.
think that when you truly not buy into that, but truly like believe it and
Yeah.
have that conviction about it, it's going to change everything with your business.
I love it. Well, it goes back to life moves at the speed of relationships. And when you're not tethered to an organization or a group or a community, man, you just get tossed and thrown by the waves and the challenges. And look, it is the most challenging time we've ever had. However, in the most challenging time, you can still have your best months ever. And that's what I love. We talk so much about it. People, I was I was talking to somebody and it goes back to this. You have to have the discipline to have structure because structure keeps you moving even though you don't feel like it. Discipline is what pushes past the feelings. And whenever I do it because it's the right thing to do that produces the right result in the right community, the feelings eventually come. But oftentimes, Sarah, I hear people say, I'm going to wait till I feel like it. They'll be waiting a long time. And that's I love the mindset. Hey, what are and you're listening to books, getting involved in the community. Um, Man, I just love that encouragement. I think right now, especially this time of year, is a great time to reset your mindset and to really realize, man, I can have my best month. And it doesn't take as long as you think to re-ramp up your business. You just got to stay focused on the right activity. Hey, so one thing I want to talk about too, I want to go back to the Tuesday update. Just ask Tuesday update. So when you've got, and I know, like, I mean, you're talking about 10, 11, you got a number of loans. You're talking about on a Tuesday, you're making upwards to 60 outbound calls. And on those calls, you're just asking for the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
powerful.
it is. And that's something I've never done before.
Yeah.
Never.
So how did you get past it? So okay, because we met a year ago and we've been working together now for a year, and it's funny you had never done it. So how does somebody listening today say, man, those are massive results and I want those results, and here's the easiest place to start in the daily success plan on Tuesdays? Just ask. Hey, and by the way, if you want to see the plan that Sarah's following, you want to know more about Call Stars Breakfast Club, go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. And myself, Carl, Frank, Kristen, one of us, so we'll jump on a call with you, show you inside what the community looks like and what you could literally implement right now to help grow your business. So, okay, so talk about mindset. A year ago, hadn't made the calls. How did you get past it? And what, like talk to somebody who says, man, I've never really done it that intentional. It seems weird to ask for the business. What do you say to that person?
So, yes, I do listen to a lot of books, a lot of podcasts, and one of my favorite ones is the Craig Groeschel Leadership Podcast, also. And one he had a guest, John Maxwell, who's one of the leading
Oh yeah.
authorities in leadership. And one of the things that he said, and I heard this early on last year, in his podcast was, "Am I going to wing it or am I going to work for it?"
Mm,
And then he said also this: if you're gifted and wing it, that'll get you in the top 20%. But if you're gifted and prepared, it'll get you in the top 2%. And the top
mm,
2% owns the world.
mm,
Oh my gosh. Drop the
yeah.
mic, walk off the stage. That was it for me. Like
Mm,
when he said that, it resonated with me because, and I don't say this in an arrogant way at all, I just feel like I've been gifted
mm-hmm.
in building relationships with people and having good rapport with people pretty much right off the bat. And I was just gifted and winging
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
like I wasn't doing anything extraordinary in my
Yeah.
opinion. There was nothing about my business that looked like, oh yeah, this is going to take me to the next level. And because that wasn't necessarily my goal.
Yeah.
It didn't move the needle. Like I was comfortable. I
Yeah.
was okay. And I became okay with okay for
Mm,
so long until okay it's not good enough.
yeah.
In this market, this is a
You got to
work
be
year, y'all.
exceptional. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what I realized was if I am going to be just okay, I'm going to fall off that platform. Like okay is not enough.
Yeah.
You have to be exceptional right now. And I came to that realization and said, I'm not okay with okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to demand excellence and greatness of myself because I know, yes, I may be gifted in this area, but I have to work for it. I got to stop winging it. And
Mm-hmm.
stuff is stored up before it shows up. And I knew that if I hadn't invested in myself with effort, energy, and hard work, that it was going to, I would be one of those leaving the industry. I would,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because you can complain about it or you can do something about it. And it again goes back to mindset. If your mind's not right, Steve, I'm not going to lie and tell you that I think positive things all day long. I mean, I'll get down in the dumps, get me up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I can't go back to sleep. And God forbid I am alone with my thoughts, right? Because now I'm thinking about like the kids and the work. I mean, my daughters are 7 and 8. My husband works full time. Also, I mean, I've got lots going on, and it is a grind to
Yeah.
control my thoughts.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that I do practically to get myself out of my own head. One is I definitely make the effort to, I'm a Christian, I am a believer. I make the effort to pray. I make the effort to find a verse in the Bible that helps me read, get my thoughts in the right track. I also am I'm a huge believer in having somebody that I can connect with,
Mm.
that somebody within my group, my circle that I can reach out to and say, hey, I'm having a hard time. Like, this is really tough right now. I am having a go of it. And it's a safe place. There's somebody that they don't look at me and think, oh, I'm going to go tell everybody Sarah's business. It's nothing like that. It's a trusted individual that I can connect with. And they don't join me in my pity party, right? Like, they don't pull up a chair and hang out in my pity party with me and cry a river. They help me, they empathize with me, but they help me get up and say, hey, we got this. Like, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be okay. Yes, it's hard. You're not wrong in feeling this way, Sarah. Your feelings are validated, but mental health is real. And if
Yeah.
you have that negative space for too long, that will poison everything that you do around you. It will hurt your family. It will, first and foremost, your family needs you.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough about how much that is priority in our life, and this business is really exceptional. It's a blessing. This business is a blessing. And I would say those are the things, very practical things to do to just take care of your mindset, take care
Yeah.
of how your thoughts are, where your thoughts are going every day.
So powerful. Hey, man, I just love it. And it's clear why you're seeing big success. And it's not about easy, it's about doing the right things, making sure you've got the right mindset, showing up, asking for the business, and really executing the plan. And so, man, I'm just so proud of you. So proud of what you're doing. You're leading the industry, leading so many people watch what you're doing and say, man, if she can do it, I know there's hope I can do it. And so I just want you to know my hat's off to you. This community celebrates you. And I love the fact that you're measuring results from the activity. It's such a big deal. It helps when you're winning to get through too. It's like you pushed for a long time to lay the foundation, and now you're seeing the fruit of, and I love what you said, when you store it up, it'll show up. And
Mhm.
you've been working and working and working the plan. And here's the thing. Some people, they think we're building tents, and I love what Carl says. We're not building tents, we're building castles. And it's like, well, why didn't it come in 3 months, and why didn't it come in 5 months? Listen, yesterday was a year for you, and you're breaking through at the 1 year mark at a massive level. And I think it's important that people hear it's not an overnight success. It's literally just a commitment to show up even when you may or may not feel like it. So, man, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And one last thing too about the effort and the energy that it takes. I just want to, just challenge everybody. I think that as humans, we want to take the path of least resistance,
Yep.
and I think that when we have to start putting effort and energy into what it takes, they tend to take the other road, right?
Mhm.
We find those things that make us look busy. Like we were talking about this morning on Breakfast Club about going to the closings and doing things like that. But you know what? It takes a lot of effort and energy to strategize what our opponents are going to do and what other people are going to do, like other competition, we'll say, and a lot of times it's just easier to take the path of least resistance and just be lazy and sit on the sidelines and let somebody else go do it, and then go with the big group, the popular majority who wants to whine and complain about where we're at in the industry and the
Yeah.
state of the industry. I mean, you go to Google and you type mortgage news, I tell you what, that there are pages and pages of people who will commiserate with you.
Yeah.
You choose, right? Like what Carl says. I mean,
I
that's
love it.
really what it
I
is.
love it.
You choose. Where do you want to be in a year? Do you want to be with everyone else, with that popular majority who are leaving the mortgage industry? Or do you want to thrive and grow and change people's lives because of this industry? You
Mm,
choose.
I love it. Well said, my friend. Well, listen, if you're wanting to know more about the plan, you want to learn more, go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. We'd love to invest time and show you a better way and to go against the majority and have massive success right now in your business. So, Sarah, thank you for sharing.
Oh, my pleasure.
We got to keep highlighting the massive success. And so proud of you, honored to be on the journey with you. And everyone, remember this: anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See you.